Hey, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I didn't start without you. I'm going to pick up right where we left off a few months back. Some of you guys know, if you follow the channel, I've been off for a couple months. A couple of you guys have private messaged me and asked me questions here and there on your builds. So here we are. We'll get back on it and hopefully it helps you out. Get organized, get some tools situated that we're going to use, and I'll get the floor nailed down, get that wall back off to make another pattern for the other side. If you're here for the first time, there is a build on the frame and the floor on this one, and I left off where I cut out that wall. Go back and check that one out if you get a chance. It'll give you a little idea of where this one's going. It's just going to be a 4x8 square drop, fully insulated with solar and 110 hookups. I'm not going to put AC in this one like I did the big red last one, being that it's only a 4x8. I did put the linoleum down on it, just a roll from a big box discount store. She's all glued and tacked in place. The other wall sitting there with one of the doors. Here's the left side wall. You can see the hardwood backing, 1x2s for the framework around the insulation. Then we'll layer a thin 1/8" sheet of Baltic birch on there stained and cut her out for the door, glue her in place, and that'll be one sandwich wall done. Sorry about the train horn. And I'll go over the gaps here, how to get to those. Made a cheap little quick tool. Got a few of them. As you can see, I hang on to them, I use them on every build. No AC in this one. We'll have 110 outlets and hookups and 12-volt solar hookups. Your roof vent fan, 2 doors, front window, rear galley area. And that's about it. We'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and get this panel cut that goes on there and stained up. But there is the floor lip. This will sit down next to the floor. This will actually lip right here. Will sit actually on the floor where your vinyl is. That creates a step design which will be glued in place on this and this surface, creating a nice step platform. Very strong, very secure. Helps when you're building one with a roof rack or a rooftop tent to support the weight, because you've got the side support and the upright support. Of course, the same step design on the roof of the camper as well as the front wall there. Again, spars will go through here, run to the other side. Your inner panel will lay on that, and this will all be glued in place. You got 1, 2, 3 areas of glue surface, which do 2 things: make it very strong for a rooftop tent and make it pretty watertight. Alright, let's get this door cut out. I traced it an 1/8" bigger than the hole over there, just to give me some wiggle room, as I always do. Don't pay attention to the resin. We're not building a foamy. That is for the Zinger build we're going to do for the Autorama. If you're not familiar with Zingers, they're half-size, half-scale hot rods with full-size engines and tires. Again, guys, you can use any tool you want to do. Just grab whatever tool is close. If this saber saw is close, I use it. If damn chisel and hammer is close, I'll use it. Alright, there you go, door set in place. We will disassemble this door, take this and this out, paint it black, tape it all off, do a nice job on it with some automotive refinishing paint. See, the exterior skin is going to be aluminum and gray on this one. Aluminum and black wheels. Yeah, everything else will be trimmed out in black as well. Just wanted to show you the door in position. This is why I The reason I left an 1/8 inch around it is because when they build these doors, there's screws that stick out slightly from the framework and they will get stuck on your wood as you put them in. So I make the hole just a bit larger, give you some wiggle room. All right, guys, I get my doors from RV Outlet on eBay. And it'll help maybe somebody out there out. They are kind of expensive, like any other supplier that builds doors, $400 a piece. Downright, the most probably you're going to spend on your camper for 2 items, almost equivalent as to a trailer frame if you buy it assembled already. Skin, the doors, and the frame are probably the 3 most expensive parts of your build. Other than that, I chose these because they have a screen door inside them. There's other suppliers that build full round corner top and bottoms that don't have screen doors, which I've used in the past. I just happen to like these. You can open the hard door, leave the screen closed. I cut this inner wall out. You can see it's real thin, fine tooth blade, no agitation at all, so it doesn't chip it. And I'm gonna cut on the back side. The blade teeth are pulling up, so it should give us a pretty clean cut on the interior. Whew. Got it flipped over, got this piece cut out. Clean out these edges with some sandpaper real quick, flip her over, glue her in place, and nail her in place. I don't know what your temperatures is on your side of the plant, but man, it is 29 degrees here today. Got fire kicking. Hopefully this glue will set up and not freeze before it does. All right, laid down some tight bond too, all around the edges of where she's gonna touch. I'm going to start around the door frame here. Put a couple brads in there. Close to the edge. So it took about 2 hours to build this whole wall, start to finish. Yeah, move on to the second wall. It's cold again, guys. I'll put this wall on that flow. Well, guys, unless the kid's here, I'm working alone, so this ought to be a fun trick. Right, one up. Let's get that other one framed and stained, and we'll get it up. Now you can see where it sits right on the metal frame on the outside, and you can get a glimpse of how it's stepped 1, 2, 3 there. And then of course you're laying right on the floor there. If you measure correctly, we're golden. All right. Framing in that inner wall structure there, we went in 18 inches on this to make our support coming down for our back galley wall right here. Put one behind this wood, and then I'll put another one on it to actually attach the wall to. Also coming up here, down 27 inches, which just puts us even with this cut that we did here. Kind of impotent to get them right. Looks good to me. Damn, almost make a bow out of the damn thing. Here we are, back on wall number 2. As you can see, I already got the framework all done, just like in the first wall and the walls previous to this build. We use our little handmade jig to spacer these guys in where they need to go, and that allows for the sandwiched front wall and roof pieces to go in there and then fit flush against this. And this, of course, allows for it to sit flush against the floor there. We'll put a bead of caulk there. Yeah, this insulation isn't the easiest to cut, even with a nice sharp blade. I've used sawzalls, I've used it everything, saber saws, you name it. I just fill it with expanding foam if there's a gap, or caulk, either one. Probably not necessary, but every little bit probably keeps it a little cooler or a little warmer. So there you go, there we have it. That will be the wall on the passenger side of the camper, or your campsite as most people call it. Since this one has a door on both sides, you can't really call it a door side, can you, Rob? Anyway, we're going to get that top piece on there and stain, get the door cut out, and get her upright. All right. As promised, we're back. Here's the walls up. I just skipped ahead. I didn't think you all wanted to see me struggling by myself, putting screws in and holding that one wall up. I also got a little ahead on the front package shelf and the cubbies in the rear with the framework around them. There will be a solid wall going down with a couple more cubby holes down there at the bottom. And of course you'll have your package shelf back here enclosed in on the rear of the camper. We'll put a solid wall up right here. Just got some gray paint in there to seal everything up. The outside of this one is going to be gray, so I thought I'd put some paint inside the cubbies to make it gray as well. We are going to keep plugging away at this. The back partition is in, and so is the framework support for the prep shelf back there. Underneath that will just be storage from the inside. There'll be a couple more cubbies against that back wall. And that's that. Got her all stained and match. Drop that shelf in place and see how she looks. See, I got a little more done off camera than I wanted to, but I had to. That makes sense. I was on a roll and didn't feel like stopping. Back camera was on a charger. It was just one of those things. Got this roof panel stain cut and just laid up in there in place with a couple spars. I put my spars on every 12 inches because I want to have the ability to put a rooftop tent up here if the buyer wants it. With the exception of these two here, they'll be 14 1/4. That's your standard size for a roof vent. Here is the cubby in the back, your galley shelf, whatever you want to call it. And USBs and 110 outlets, of course. And that'll all be sealed off down there. Just wanted to give you an update of how she's coming. Like I said, I know I'm skipping around on this one. Doesn't seem to be a lot of feedback on these builds anymore like there were when I first started. I think everybody's kind of over the fad of building their own camper, maybe. I don't know. From here on out, I'll probably just show you what I'm gonna do and then show you the finished product. If anyone out there has any questions, or if you want me to show a certain specific part of the build, just let me know and I'll put a video up of that. But otherwise, they're pretty much just gonna be segments here and there of parts of a build. I'm not gonna do full camper builds anymore. Like I said, the audience just isn't there anymore like it used to be. And that being that I'm a one-man shop, and I used to build about 8 of these a day, a year, and boy, I'd be Superman if I could build 8 a day, huh? Anyway, I used to build about 8 a year. I cut that back to about 4 or 5 when I started doing YouTube with the kiddo, and honestly, it just isn't worth it anymore. Wasn't trying to get rich off of YouTube. I just had the kid wanted me to kind of put videos up. He thought it was neat, so we did it, and he's over that fad, so we're gonna move on. Seems like everybody else is too. I'm gonna go ahead and get some spars in place up here, glued down, get the rest of that inner roof laid down, and get some insulation and wiring done. Back with the design I decided to go with. I was going to put a shelf across the top. Don't think I need it. There will be a door in the center part. There will be a full wall, of course, enclosing all this. And you'll have 2 cubbies back there. So that's what she's going to look like. There's the inside with the roof panel staining on. I got to cut it out right there for our roof vent. We got some puck lights in there. Also got one in the back. There above the cubbies, and also one in the rear galley area. Got all of the spars in place, getting ready to insulate it now. I will run some wires to those 3 puck lights and run the wires down this side here and seal them all in place so they don't move before I do the installation. What are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Where are you going? We're in the camper. Get in there. Good boy. Hey gang, I'm back at it. Just an update on the budget square drop. Here you can see, got the trim coming, which will be black. And I got the aluminum skin coming, which will be gray. You get in there. Go on. Jump. Good boy. Say hi, puppy. Put a finished panel down there yet. We'll make it heavy enough to mount a TV or a screen or something too. There's your inner roof. Not done. Corners are tight. Caulked. 12 volt USB up there. Going to, of course, fill that in. So I have one big door up in the center there. It'll be exactly that size. And that'll be filled in down there, of course. There's your wiring. USB and 12 volt. And 120. Sorry, I'm chewing on a cough drop. There you are again. What are you doing? All right, there she is. This will end this episode. Next episode will be the skin and trim. And then, of course, putting the doors and wheels and tires, the bigger wheels and tires on it. And then she's done.